After almost 4 entire years of waiting, JID has finally given us his newest full-length project, The Forever Story. In the time we have waited for this record, JID has been preparing for this major leap through his performances on albums like Dreamville's Revenge of the Dreamers 3 and D-Day compilation projects, along with his feature run that has shown to us that he's getting better with each verse that he writes, and after listening to this album, it's clear that this has really proven true. We are welcome to the world JID has spent years perfecting with the track Galaxy. The song foils this album to JID's debut album, The Never Story, with the lines, "Everyone's a star, every day's the move, everywhere you are, pray that the rest of you. Everyone's a star, every day's the move, everywhere you are, pray." Now, these lines are a direct play on The Never Story's intro doo-wop, and as soon as this vocal passage and outro skit from JID's high school football coach where he tells the Atlanta rapper he has become fake, the real show begins with Radar. As soon as the sample from the Last Poet's 1971 track Mean Machine runs its course, the cut evolves into a fast-tempo trap cut, and JID's fast-flowing, fiery lyricism shows the mastery he has over his skills at this point. Even further than his skills here, JID's verses in this section of the song are both ferocious and thought-provoking. He talks about how lethal he is behind the mic, while also throwing shade at some of his contemporaries in the rap game, saying that while they may be rich, many of these people have sold their soul. The second verse of this track goes from JID talking about himself and those in his line of work to him going in a deeper direction as he talks about the lineage of racism and how other people in power in America's recent history come from slave owners and racist families. He steers this further with bars like "How you gonna win an losable game," which shows JID's hopeless feelings towards reaching any significant level of change. He continues to show his feelings on this matter as he talks about how many people will incite how they want to make change, but no matter what, the sun will always shine each day, which represents the cycle of life that keeps spinning in the same way, and these issues will continue to spin that same way also. After this verse concludes, the song begins to steer into its second half, which features a beat that keeps up the energy of the song's first half, but presents it in a much more urgent manner. There is so much power behind every single aspect of JID's verse here. He references the death of Jesus Christ, he alludes to the way he plans on going out, and it gives this moment an ominous setting. JID is truly in a place that we have never seen him, and with these lines that play with the ideas of progress but face us with the harsh reality that our strides are really never enough, it makes you feel like JID is inciting a fire within you. He uses bars like "We could travel but the journey long, and we speaking but ain't never been heard" to sink these feelings in during this bleak verse, and it concludes with JID unleashing a new side of himself. He alludes to gaining so much power through his frustrations here, and even closes out this verse by referencing Avengers Infinity War as he talks about collecting his stones and being able to cause disappearance by snapping his fingers. After just this one track, we can see that JID is in a form that we've never seen from him as every detail of this song is sharpened to perfection. Not a single bar is wasted, his ideas are so carefully presented, and his verses on this track are not just some of the best of his career, but truly compete with the best of this year. This level of detail and ferocity leads perfectly into the next track, Dance Now, which is another masterclass in showing JID in this new form. Sonically, this song works perfectly with its reoccurring vocal sample, which adds a commanding energy throughout the course of this cut, and over the instrumental, JID continues this one-of-a-kind vocal and technical performance and is truly amazing to witness. The way he's able to play with his voice is so entertaining, and his wordplay is on another level, which JID even acknowledges as he mentions that he has not had to sell his soul to reach this level of mastery. This track is not as topically rich as Radar, but this cut does a fantastic job at characterizing JID as he talks about the perception of his image at this point and references back to his upbringing here. In addition to this, there are themes regarding the devil and temptation within this track, and this is really solidified in Kenny Mason's section of the hook, which highlights things such as becoming infatuated with the handsome land of sin. As opposed to this narratively loose song, Crack Sandwich tells a much more linear story, and it thrives because of this. Here, JID tells us a tale about him and his 6 siblings, highlighting the track with the time they got into a brawl with 6 other customers at a bar in New Orleans. So it's truly a great moment, and the way JID talks about the bond strengthening through their impulsive nature is both comedic and beautiful. Assisting the storytelling of JID here, the track's gloomy and pulsing beat gives the Atlanta native the perfect tunnel to guide us through this passage. Produced by Kate Trinata and featuring Earth Gang, Cant Punk Me is one of the most dynamic cuts on the entire album. The song starts off so slow and calm, and through JID's verse, the tension builds up topically, vocally, and sonically. JID talks about how he's been able to stay above the pack throughout his life, and he talks about how he's been so hungry to survive, and that the environment he was raised in made him fear nothing. As tension builds up in his verse, we reach the hook where he yells at us rapidly that he can't be taken down or punked, to quote his words, by anyone. Being some of JID's longest time collaborators, Earth Gang's Dr. Dot and Johnny Venus add perfect performances as they talk about their experiences in similar environments and build on the themes referenced by JID in his verse. They tell us they made it to where they're at today by having the same sense and mentality that JID did, and add powerful contributions to this idea, saying such things as those who believe in God have no need to fear other men. This cut leads into the single Surround Sound, which musically is one of the best cuts of the entire year, as it samples the same Aretha Franklin track that Mos Def sampled on his classic record Miss Fat Booty, and JID here continues using this sample the best way he possibly could with a song that modernizes the core of Miss Fat Booty, features a pair of great verses from JID and none other than 21 Savage over this production, all while Baby Tate adds some blistering vocals over this beat as well. Topping all of this off, this is one of the tracks on this album that contains a beat switch, and on the second half of the song, the tone switches and the sample gets flipped again as JID spits another verse that showcases this same mastery of his MC skills. Cody Blue 31 is not just one of the most unique and risky songs JID has given us throughout his career, but it's also one of the best and most beautiful tracks he has also. In comparison to the boisterous and chaotic feel of the album to this point, this track has a super soulful feel where JID shows us his singing voice, which is absolutely stunning. The soft instrumental, the choir's refrains, the emotion within JID's voice, this track is one of the most musically moving tracks that I have heard in a very long time. Narratively, this song is one of the most powerful on the entire record as it serves as a tribute to JID's friend's son named Cody. Cody was a football player who wore the number 31, and unfortunately he passed away at a young age. The message on this track is centered around the principle to keep on swanging on, or in other words, despite the loss of one, it's important to keep moving forward and to live the rest of your own life in their honor. After this anthem of loss and perseverance concludes, JID continues to talk about the ideas that truly matter with the song brought in him. In this pristine sounding cut, JID continues to highlight his melodic capabilities as he talks about the loyalty he has to his brothers and his closest friends. Building on this concept, Lil Durk gives one of the best performances of his entire career as he talks about how he will always be there for the people that truly matter. Between how good Durk and JID sound in this melodic realm and how well portrayed the themes of brotherhood are in this moment, this is quite the experience, and things only get better as JID foils this song with Sis in him. This song focuses on JID's relationship with his sister and narrates us through three stories that have defined their relationship through the years. The song's low-key instrumental makes it sound like you are having a one-on-one conversation, and JID's soft delivery gives this track the emotional presentation that it needs. This is one of the best storytelling displays of JID's entire career, and hearing him detail what makes their relationship so special was really beautiful to see. Building on this string of JID's personal relationships, Can't Make You Change stays in this same realm but paints things in a much darker light as he talks about his struggles to keep a stable relationship. Ari Lennox delivers a great performance here with stunning vocals that convey so much emotion and echo the struggles JID is going through when it comes to finding love. He's aware of what's making his relationships fail but is unable to change at the rate people are depending on him to. The second half of this track even features a beat switch where JID becomes even more honest and raw as he talks about why he sabotages the relationships and worries about commitment and major change. The following track, Stars, sends us into the next phase of this album as we enter JID's inner thoughts. This is reflected through the different vocal effects that serve as different thought streams that have been in JID's mind throughout the years, and the dreamlike atmosphere of this track's production really conveys that we are having a different type of experience. JID talks about his rise to fame, and in this moment it also serves as a map for other artists on how to follow their dreams and become the idols that they once looked up to. The 31-year-old also emphasizes the idea of putting your heart into your dreams as other people will outwork you if you don't. As JID talks about reaching your dreams on the first half of the song, Mos Def spawns on the second half as he contours the ideas JID said as he talks about how he chased and achieved these ideas and adds knowledge somebody only on the other side of the business could say. Yassine Bey talks about how the music industry can work like modern day slavery and getting caught up in all of its politics will make you a mere pawn of the game. The way this entire song plays like a dream with Mos Def and JID acting like thoughts within them is genius, and it makes for one of the best tracks on the entire album. The idea that this track is a dream becomes further true as the next song, Just in Time, begins with an alarm clock going off, which indicates that we have now woken up from this state of slumber. Featuring Lil Wayne and Kenny Mason, this is one of the most exciting tracks on the album and one of the most narratively powerful. Here, JID begins the track, speaking as proof to everything you seen Bass said on Stars. JID brings to the point that breaking away from the chains of the industry and the trends will make you a timeless force. It will make you ascend into a place of control over your own destiny, and we don't just get a verse that builds on these ideas, we get living proof of this concept with Lil Wayne being on the song. Wayne talks about how he has become his own image, and by relying on himself for his success, he has avoided becoming a slave to the music business. The bar, "I'm so timeless, but I got plenty of time," really highlights the idea of what this track is saying, as it's all about coming into your space where you are so untouchable that you have all the time you need to pave your own career path. It's about breaking away from standards and becoming your own organic force. The Knowledge-Filled Money is another memorable track where you witness JID talk about the forces of wealth and currency. He talks about being broke, and he talks about having a lot of money here. There's a lot of smart bits that showcase JID's wisdom when it comes to the lifestyle he lives and the gratitude he has for what he has achieved, and there's so many quotables on this track, like ironic that being broke is an expensive lifestyle, and scheme on the dollar, thinking if anybody is talking, put some green on his head, he better be Marcus Smart. Giving us another treat with his stunning singing voice, Better Days is a bittersweet moment where JID reminisces on his past, telling us about the relationship he has with one of his best friends. He calls this person his twin and narrates the tireless lifestyle that they lived, as he alludes to the fact that they were binded together as family through their experiences. He talks about how their relationship has endured through the lives they live now, and how him being sent to jail took a real toll on JID. Second verse on this track is one of JID's best on the record, as he talks about the journey, everything he has done to get to the point he's at this very moment. He talks about all the suffering him and his family went through. It says that his success was destiny, but it roots all back to his friend that's in jail. JID misses this person who's like family to him and wishes that they took a different path that avoided him from getting where he's at today. Overall, this track does a great job at building on the themes of brotherhood, destiny, and family from earlier, while also talking about JID's roots and journey to where he is now. Lauder 2 serves as the sequel to JID's track Lauder, and it's the textbook definition of a perfect sequel. This song's spacey production works so well here, and JID's rapid-fire flow here foils the ideas of the original track as he talks about the problems and struggles that fame have brought him. He questions a lot here, wondering if he's accomplished enough and even done enough to have an impact on listeners, and we see JID try to figure out if people truly listen to the words in his music or if they just gloss through it for entertainment. This is an extremely vulnerable moment, and it works perfectly in the album's closing legs. Ending things once and for all, we leave the world of the Forever Story with the reflection of 2007. In all senses of the word, this song is a 7-minute long treat that guides us through JID's quest towards realizing his talent as an MC and the fully fleshed out journey of him getting signed to J. Cole. The way JID mirrors his career path to what project J. Cole was releasing at the time was a super neat detail in the beginning, and hearing JID talk about his football career and how it ended, it feels super dramatic, and it seems like a really challenging moment in his life. We really feel the consequences of this decision despite knowing the outcome. The transition of him ending his football career to truly chase his dreams of becoming a rapper was crazy to hear about, and with the narration from his father, it shows the full scope of what was going on in JID's life during this transition. The second verse of this track talks about JID's final push and getting discovered, and we find out how he ended up getting signed to Dreamville after almost going down many different paths. Just like JID's dad had his own vocal interlude, we get one from J. Cole here where he talks about the spirit and hunger of JID, and hearing Cole praise JID's work ethic and tell us why certain people make it while others fail, or as he says it, that's the difference between the people that never get what they want and the people whose names ring out forever, brings the album's themes full circle and truly highlights the power of the perspective that we have just heard from throughout this entire LP. All in all, with the level of hype going into this project, I never expected the Forever Story to be anywhere near this good. From top to bottom, this album is layered to perfection, and JID delivers the performance of a lifetime, touching on so many important themes in such a fun and creative musical presentation. He touches on injustice, family, maturity, self-love, respect, perseverance, loss, and a lot more in such a vulnerable and honest way. Before I get into my rating of the album, I'll be ranking the track list, which goes at 16, Galaxy, 15, Dance Now, 14, Cant Punk Me, 13, Money, 12, Synonym, 11, Surround Sound, 10, Can't Make You Change, 9, Brudanim, 8, Lauder 2, 7, Timeless, 6, Crack Sandwich, 5 Better Days, 4 2007, 3 Stars, 2 Radar, 1 Cody Blue, 31. And for all of the reasons I just said, I will be giving The Forever Story a 9.3 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts on this album, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a ton. Thank you all for watching. Mr. Fantastic, Fantastic Hip Hop, signing out. Have a great day.